All right. I better say hello quickly. Hi, Maree. Hi, Jazzy. Hello, everybody. I already got the little thing on my laptop already. It popped up right away. So hopefully I'll be able to stick around. We've been having, or I have been having some technical issues, and it is not related to the topic at hand. It definitely has to do with my computer or my Wi-Fi. So hopefully, again, I tried connecting with my phone, I couldn't. So Maree has the information in case I disappear. But a lot of the information we're going to talk about today is on Libra, 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 rising.com. And if you click on flat earth and if you click on Maree, did you try, was it land beyond the ice wall or?
I haven't tried it because I was trying to work out the thing with you.
Yeah,
So I can
yeah,
do it now if you want me to. Let
yeah.
me just go and
So you have
see.
it
And
available.
yeah, liberarising.com.
Yeah. And
Um,
so,
yeah, okay. There's a Liberising 2. Is that the one? Or is it
yes. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Liberising 2? Yep, got it. Then we'll go into Flat Earth.
Yeah.
And then we'll go into
Thank you,
so
Nick.
is it under articles?
It's the first section where all the links are there, and it should say like
Yes,
land
worlds
beyond.
beyond our ice ring. Oh, damn, that's the wrong one. Worlds beyond our ice ring. Let me just see.
Yeah, and it should be a bunch of maps.
Let's have a look. Yep.
Oh,
Yes.
actually, I had it open from when I had looked it up. So there's the maps in there.
Yep. Okay. And it's interesting because I think is it NATO or one of them actually has that whole sort of flat Earth map laid out as
Yep.
well.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So that's the one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep. Cool.
there's different maps. This should be like this.
Oh, okay. It looks different
The
on
top
mine.
says worlds beyond worlds beyond our ice wall. Yeah, let me
Oh,
put
this
it here.
this is our ice ring. Mine is worlds beyond our ice ring. So remember, we get different things here than what you get. They actually, yeah. So let's just have another look.
Let's see. It's called Worlds Beyond Our Ice Wall. So worlds beyond our ice wall. Okay, so it should be on the comments now. Okay, so
Because it's called ice ring on mine.
really
Have we got a
interesting.
Mandela effect going on here?
Well, we already have the first question. Oh my.
Wow. I know because I've definitely gone in. Mine was Libra Rising and it had a 2 next to it. That's exactly the same one that you went into? Is that right?
Mine said Libra Rising 2.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you
Yeah.
pick Flat Earth.
Yep.
Okay.
This is crazy. This is what I mean. They actually do. I know in Australia they limit some stuff that we can actually get.
And then it says it's the under newer articles, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth one, Worlds Beyond Our Ice Wall.
Okay, let me just go back in and have another look.
Under the articles.
Newer articles,
Newer
newer,
articles.
yeah. Mine is number 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, got it. Sorry, there was 2. There's 2 on mine. There was ice wall and ice ring. So I didn't see the
Yeah,
world. Okay,
it's the
got it.
ice wall one. Yeah.
That was just pure operator error on my behalf. Ah,
Okay, so if you guys have access to a computer that you can look it up, definitely look it up because there's a bunch of maps in there. And it's really, really interesting what's there because it shows you this one big map of all these worlds that are supposed to be beyond the ice wall. So, but let's start with the basics, right? Um,
yeah.
is it true that this ice wall that do we have an ice wall around us? Because as far as I know, it's Antarctica on the north, and I there was no ice wall that I was aware of. Just Antarctica was ice, but its own piece of land. It wasn't like it was an ice wall around us.
Yeah. So let's have a look and just see is is that actually something that's true? Because I mean, there's so much debate, isn't there, around is this a flat Earth or a round Earth? But at the end of the day, I don't think it's either. And this is what Jasper showed us ages ago because he showed me this aspect of land, but then there was other things, and I went, I don't understand what he's trying to show me.
Yeah,
And I feel it's because it's a very multi-dimensional world literally, and so there's energetic aspects that we can't always tap into, so we just see things with our 3D eyes. So let's just see if it is true. Is there such a thing as this ice wall as we're talking about it?
right. Or do we have ice all around us? Which I I don't know. Like,
I don't know either. Let's have a look and see. Okay, so there's High Priestess has come up first. So this tells me there's many mysteries that are hidden behind. Like it's not just black and white. There's so much more that is actually hidden. So we're asking from a 3D perspective, do we
yeah,
have like an ice wall? It might be energetic, it might be physical. It's very unique, whatever it is, because we've got our 9 of Pentacles. So it's a very unique aspect of us. So I'm starting to feel that there is something with these. These are and very feminine cards, which is really interesting as well.
oh
Okay,
shoot, I
it's like,
forgot to make you big. Hold
oh,
on.
that's right.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to say that there is, because the Justice card has come up. Now, to me, this means that it's something that hasn't been brought into balance yet. So the Justice card is, well, yeah, it's something that we haven't been told about officially, or we've been actually maybe the opposite. It hasn't been, it's been deliberately withheld from us. So
Okay.
that's to me what this, yeah, but it is being worked on because we've got our 8 of Pentacles. So that
Hmm.
situation is actually being worked on still around that. But I mean, again, though, remember what I'm getting intuitively is that we all have our own life to experience. And remember, some people are here to be indoctrinated. They're here to be told what to do. That's their role. Our role is to ask questions and to actually dig for the truth of who we truly are and why we're here and what this world is, its actual place is about, literally. So
Yeah.
let's just,
Yeah.
yeah, Ace of Cups. So
Yeah.
it's all for all of us. It's an emotional journey that's very, very unique. And so for some of us, that might resonate as a truth, and for others, with that Justice card, it's just completely going to be out of what is their truth.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
absolutely. So then the next question that I have is if the hole in Antarctica is it the hole that connects into all these other worlds, or is it a hole that goes into inner Earth? Because they were saying it's the hole that goes into inner Earth, and so if you look in the map, it says Admiral Byrd's Passage. So it's almost like, no, it doesn't go into inner Earth. It goes into these other worlds outside of the ice wall.
okay.
So,
So what I was getting then, because I get a visual when you're talking, I sort of start to see a visual. It's both is what I'm getting. So let's just have a look and see. So
Okay.
so we'll find out first, is there an actual physical exit point, or is there a, channel through or whatever where
Maybe it goes to both places, to inner earth, and or could the stuff that's outside of the ice wall be what people call inner earth?
exactly, really, really good question. So we'll just go back to, wow. So the first one is the Five of Cups. So this is around grief. This is around where some things have been lost, but there's still some things to find emotionally. So, and then we've got the Empress. Now, she's the creator to me of everything, and it can be everything beautiful. It's usually beautiful and positive. So I'm just going to ask now about the physical aspect, because I believe that what we've been talking about, that both exist, and that maybe some people only find the 3D aspect. Whew. Okay. And as I was saying that, I was thinking, well, it would depend on who we are, what our frequencies are, and how we resonate. Because, I mean, some of us can travel interdimensionally really easily. So the Eight of Wands is all about speed. So to me, I'm going to relate this to frequency. So I feel it actually depends, again, on our own personal experience as to how we would then experience this other aspect of the unknown earth. So you see what I'm saying? So it can get a little bit complicated, but at the end of the day, there is physical. It's saying there's a physical world, but then there's also another world as well, and it depends on us.
Okay. Well, it's going to depend on if you are, I would think, well, let's ask the question, if vibrationally you have to be a vibration match in order to see it, in order to see
Yeah,
what's beyond the ice wall.
absolutely. Ace of Pentacles came up. This is our highest potential for our reality. So that to me is a straight up yes. And so interesting. The cards today, they're working differently. It's like there's an energy coming through them. They're not going hot or cold. There's actually an energy, which is really fascinating, and it's quite subtle. So the cards always respond to what's happening as well, for me, when I'm
Yeah, yeah.
in. Yeah. So wow. Oh, temperance. Look at this. So this is us and how we relate on an emotional level, on a spiritual level. And this can be around change, and the change in our vibration will take us to different places. So that's the way I'm interpreting that temperance card. And it's taken a long time, because temperance is about patience as well. So we
Yeah.
know that this has been going on for a very long time. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Oh,
So, ah,
this has come up to me. So what I'm going to actually perceive this devil card as is aspects of us, or aspects of beings that live here in the earth plane, that have to be resolved before we get to that frequency. So we're doing our inner work and reconnecting back into source, rather than sitting with all of our woundings and issues and things like that. So to me, that was saying that's what's been stopping us. And whether that was deliberately orchestrated, or whether that was, an experience that we've chosen to have here. Yeah.
okay. Okay. So then, by the answer of the cards, I would have to assume that the answer is yes, there are worlds outside of the wall, of the ice wall. And and so I'm going to ask this question right now while I formulate my next question. So Nick was saying, did Captain Bird really fly into the green part of Antarctica, and was he taken into inner Earth?
Right.
So that was one question that I did have in mind, was asking about, was Captain Bird real?
Yeah.
Um,
First question up. Let's check to see if he was a real person or a real thing. Really good question to start with.
yeah, yeah,
Interesting. The first card up is our Six of Swords, and this is always moving into a better place within our mind, within our story, within whatever it is that we've got planned. So moving into smoother waters. So it looks like he did go to somewhere that was like greener. Seven of Wands. This is always about maintaining our independence or our identity. So trying to maintain his identity while going into this place would have been really difficult. So let's just have a look and see then if it was if he also experienced what we would call inner earth. Yeah. I don't know that he did, because the Four of Cups tells me that something's being offered, but someone's not ready to look at it. So to me, it might have been a potential, like a possibility, but he wasn't ready for that. So I would say it was just the physical at this point with that card coming up. So if that had been like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, did he have the right vibration to see? Like,
and it's funny because that card came up just as you were saying that, which is again our Eight of Wands, which is that fast action, and we're going to take this one as fast frequency today because that's what it seems to be coming through as. So no, I don't feel that he probably did. So he saw some things, but he wasn't maybe ready to see others.
So do you feel he was real then? He was a real person?
I'll double check on that, but it did seem to be.
Okay. That was the original. Yeah, that was the original question was he even real? Did he exist as a person?
Yeah. So, and I'm getting that he was quite balanced. He was obviously quite intelligent, because the Two of Wands is about finding a balance within the world. So I do feel that, yeah, he was like almost an explorer as well. That was the part of him. Nine of Cups. Yeah. So his desire was to actually, he must have been asking questions, I would say, to even do what he did. He must have been asking questions.
Okay. So, did something that's coming to mind is that was this ice wall created purposefully to keep something inside, whether it's humans or the bad guys or whatever? If it's higher dimensional beings or people that are in high vibration that can see it, then I would think that the guys that are bad can't see it. So was the ice wall created to create a fence around something or someone? Well, something for sure, because it was the land, but to keep some beings inside.
Great simple question, and we'll start with that. Yeah, it looks like something was going on, because when the Queen of Pentacles comes up, she's really contemplating a reality. So that this was done with a lot of contemplation is what I'm getting, to create this reality. King of Cups. It's almost like when King of Cups comes up, it's an emotional master, but there's something hidden. So it feels like it started one way, but something was hidden with it as well. So let's have a look and see. It was definitely desired. I feel it was definitely done for a reason, because that Nine of Cups has come up.
Okay.
So this is our desires. This is what we want. So I would say yes to that from those cards. I think there's a lot more going on. Feels like there's a lot of layers here with.
Yeah. This could take, we could have several shows. My mind is just like, what about this? What about that? So, okay. So then we know we did a show where we figured out that the dome, the firmament, whatever, is real, and it does exist. We have a show we did where the cards confirmed that this is true. So my question is, then is that dome, does it go to the ice wall? So is that where it's like it's contained? The dome is.
Yes, I see what you're saying. Let's have a look and see if that's. It doesn't just have to be a physical construct. Other as well, it can also be an energetic. There can be an energetic.
Right, absolutely. I'm just talking a dome, whether it's energetic, whether it's magnetic, whether it's physical, whatever.
First one up is Six of Pentacles. So yes, because to me, this is when you're offered something's been given. In reality, it feels like it went a bit askew. It's almost like it's definitely there, but then there's some manipulation that's gone on with it, with that devil card coming up. Which one of you want to come out? Let me just double check these two. Yeah. Yeah, there's a physical, but there's a lot more behind it as well. So there is a physical dome, but then there's more, because that beautiful high priestess has come up again, where there's a lot of mysteries that have yet to be vibrated, like on that same vibration with. So yes,
Okay.
there's a physical wall.
Okay. There. So
And it
so
meets.
the dome. So that's where the dome ends, or where the dome.
Yeah.
I don't know where it starts, where it ends. I like. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it was saying. So.
Okay. Okay. So I want to really understand the divide between Middle Earth, like the Middle Earth under Mount Shasta, for example, versus this hole through Antarctica. Like, is it the same place, or are we? No, I'm not, Tracy. I'm not. This has nothing to do with Mr. T at all. Um, um, could be a question we could put out later, some other time, but good to keep it in mind. Um, so, is there any way you can tell if that hole can connect to this inner earth that you can supposedly go through in Mount Shasta or wherever else you can connect to inner earth? Because if you look at the map later on, as you go down through the maps, they have outside of it, the maps outside of us,
Yep.
some of them, one is called Telos, Lemuria, Atlantis. Oh my God, so many questions. Okay. So did you get the question?
Yeah. So is it connected to under Mount Shasta, like where that realm is? There's a
inner Earth.
inner
Yeah.
Earth. Is it connected into the one that's under Antarctica? So, or are you
Yeah.
asking about? Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you something. It's really interesting. I had this amazing, very connected channeler, and he did a session for me, and he said straight away, he said, "You've had a lifetime," he said, "where you were under Antarctica in that realm of Middle Earth." And he said it was tropical, it was beautiful. And he said, and you were like a leader there, and all of this stuff came through. And I could feel it. I actually absolutely resonated with that. So let's just see. So I'm just going to see if there's a connection between the realms that are there. Because I know energetic vortexes are real, because I've experienced them and I've worked with them. So let's see if these two are connected at all. Okay, let's just have a look and see. It looks like we've got the Ten of Pentacles, so it looks like there is a lot of connection between them, because this is a very abundant card. And there's a lot of people in there, you can see. And look at that. To me, that looks like almost a portal. So that archway is coming through. So so Nine of Cups, it is something that was desired, because, I mean, you think about interdimensionally, it doesn't need the 3D. It depending on what vibration and frequency it's at, it doesn't need like a 3D world to connect. It's a whole different way of connection, which we aren't privy to. Eight of Swords. So we're locked in our mindset or in our story, and can't often connect into them or see them. So that's what I'm feeling, is that yes, they do connect. Oh, the Empress, the creator. So this has been created deliberately so that it's connected. Because I know when I've connected in with craft or beings, they go through these portals or whatever it is. And so there has to be connections.
Yeah. 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 So, yeah. So Nick is saying she's seen the scene from Jim Carrey's film, and that film was huge, humongous in so many ways. Um, because as Nick is mentioning it, it brings me to thinking that we are Truman, and that we are, because now our vibration has risen to the point where we are seeing that there is a land outside of this, like when he bumped into the end of the, the scene, the end of the
Setting.
dome, the dome, really, it
Mm.
was the end of the dome. He goes to the end and he gets to the ice wall, what we would call the ice wall, and he's allowed to leave, which meant his vibration was high enough that he could see it, right? I almost feel like, oh my God, I think that's us. That's really us. And um moving up in the vibration where this is appearing on our reality, right? Because as you raise your vibration, you start seeing things that only exist in that vibration or higher. So yeah, it's almost like we're getting to that point where we will be able um to get out of this dome and visit, you know um those other worlds.
Absolutely. Look at this. This is a coming together and an emotional coming together through love and through a very high resonance. It's spot on. And yeah, it's so interesting because in my life, what's happened is anytime it's time for me to leave somewhere or go to a new place, I've traveled a lot and I've lived in a lot of places. I've been getting the feeling that this earth is not big enough for me. It's so weird. It's almost like I need somewhere more to
Yeah.
experience on
Yeah.
physical level as much as the spiritual. It's not about leaving my physical body. This to me, and I've been getting this for probably 2 years now. And it's almost like the energy there is just not enough. And so I need to move somewhere else. So it's so interesting because I'm going, well, there has to be something beyond Earth. I feel like it's not on Earth. So I don't know if anyone else has been feeling like that or had those thoughts or
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
I agree with you. Especially after all the travel I've been doing. It's been like, okay, I'm done. Like, I saw what I wanted to see. What's next?
And I think, as well, the like you say, the more we're expanding and raising our frequency and vibration, we're starting to remember and what we've actually experienced in other worlds, other timelines, other beings, other bodies. And we've been spacecraft, we've been pilots, whatever you want to call them,
Yes,
and so therefore this to us is really quite restrictive when those memories start coming through, and it's maybe that's what it is needed. So we ask more questions. Well, there's got to be more. And as soon as we start asking questions, what happens is we start getting answers.
that's
And that's when
true.
we can then break down the limitation of the reality that we've been indoctrinated into. It's like going up the next level of the video game. It's like you
Yeah,
can go to new worlds.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And is it because our vibration is exceeding the current vibration of Earth?
Let's have a look and see. That's a really good question. Okay, I'm getting a few things coming through. It's King of Wands. So we're the master that takes action. I feel it's also because of what we were saying before, of what we've experienced, and it's coming through. So yeah, what that would do would kick us into um, helping, because our vibration, we're still connected to the earth grids, okay? So our
Yes,
vibration shifts the earth helps shift us. So,
yes, yes.
and look, the Ten of Wands, look, I don't think that this is going to be a long time coming.
Really?
It's no, because the Ten of Wands tells me that the action we're taking, it's actually nearly finished for us. So we might suddenly find that we just get knowings about it or rememberings, because I would say we've had lifetimes and experiences where we've been in those places. I mean, there's a place called Mermaid something. I know I've been on
Yes.
in a world that's
Mermaid
water.
Land. Mermaid
Yeah,
Land. And then it
yeah.
shows Lemuria and Atlantis outside of the ice wall. So there's the ice wall where we are. Outside of that, there's some lands. And then there's another circle around that. And then outside of that, it shows Lemuria and Atlantis.
And
So,
what I'm feeling is there that aspect of Lemuria Atlantis could have been within the earth realm, but the vibration, when the vibration dropped, then everything else also dropped. So that physical aspect was actually lost to us here in this aspect of earth, and yet it still exists. So,
yeah,
and
yeah.
the Queen of Swords has come up. To me, she's someone that tells truth, that tells it really clearly. So it looks like at some point we will be getting some truth coming through about this.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And it could be what I showed you guys today. Um, so I thought this was funny. Next question.
Yeah.
Which Harry Potter platform do we get onto the train to beyond?
Nick, can you get a couple of tickets, please? And we'll join you at the station. I love it.
Yeah.
Ah,
So if you guys get on there, you'll see that on these lands, there's the lands of Mars, the lands of Orion, the lands of Draco, the Anunnaki's lands. I know I saw Pleiades in here somewhere. Lands of Jupiter,
yeah.
lands of um, Anunnaki's lands,
Venus.
lands of Venus. Uh huh. Yep.
Now,
Lands
it's
of
really interesting, isn't it? Because when we look at the moon, and because we only see one side of the moon, they've actually lined it up so it actually almost reflects lands from Earth.
Oh,
Have you
well,
not
yeah,
seen that? Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I just thought that they were interesting how they're playing with us. I wonder if
Yeah.
that was to make fun of us or to almost give us information to remember, you
Yeah.
know?
Good question. Do you want me to check to see
Sure.
if
Yeah.
there's yeah, let's just see. First of all, is that a deliberate thing? Yeah, it's not the original moon. There's been many. Ten of Pentacles. And I was just getting that as this card came up. There's been more than one moon aspect, whether it's physical, energetic. There's definitely been more than one. And remember, I know this might all sound crazy if you try and keep it on a one-dimensional 3D timeline. It's just so multi-dimensional. Yeah, Ace of Cups. We're getting our confirmation here with a yes. But the moon also, remember, it's an emotional aspect for humans, isn't it? Like you look at the moon and you go, oh, there's the moon. And everyone in this whole arena sees that moon. So to me, it's a very emotional aspect of us as well. And whether that was being used, to collect stuff, who knows? But there's been many.
Yeah. Wow. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
So if you go to the bottom of that page, there's just, I mean, oh, I gotta put myself back on here. Here. There's just loads and loads of these worlds there. So I'll read to you what it says in the beginning. So it says that this is Claudio Nocelli with I think Maree had mentioned something on there. Claudio Nocelli, the author of Terra Infinita Extraterrestrial Worlds and Their Civilization, writes about Helen Morris and her father William Morris, who together with the help of a giant disclosed information about all of the worlds beyond our Antarctic ice wall. Our level Earth world, they say, is part of 178 worlds under a great or superdome. each with its own domes or biospheres. Helen and William come from the ancestral lands, which are some 8,000 kilometers south of our Antarctic ice wall. They have come here to try and educate and liberate our own humanity. So let's see if this is true. Are there 178 worlds under a superdome?
Let's see. That one. Yep. Well, we've got our Wheel of Fortune card, and look, it's almost like
Yeah, it's the
yeah,
picture.
it's like and that one was really standing out. Like I said, it's not hot today. I actually get the tingling in my hand when I'm to actually turn one over. Oh my gosh. Then we've got the Tower card. So something's happened to actually change some of that. So, yeah. So, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I literally ask. And then the Lovers. So people are coming together within themselves to increase frequency. So if you look at this aspect as well, that's, if you can take that as the sun, or you can take that as something that's beyond. So look, I have to say yes with these cards. I mean, they're telling a story. And honestly, the energy, I had no idea. I was just so neutral, sitting so neutrally when those cards came up. So I would say that there is a lot of truth in that.
Okay, wow. Okay. So does that mean then, let me see here. So Helen and William know all about the other lands and who's good and who's bad. There are two notable aggressive and anti-human races under the Great Dome. The first are the custodians, who possess advanced technology and go out and colonize and enslave as many worlds as they can. And the second are the Anunnaki, who are warlike and aggressive and also use advanced technology to colonize and enslave worlds. The two compete with one another and with all the worlds under the Great Dome. When either conquers a world, they build a wall of ice around it to keep the people in. Okay.
Oh,
The
you're not going to
Mars.
believe these cards.
What? What?
First one
What?
up. First one up is the Death card. So this is the transformation and transitioning that happens, and it can happen over a lot of time. Then we've got this one again. So it's almost like confirming. I mean, this is what happens. We've seen this happen so many times with the cards when it wants to get a message across, that there is actually some truth in that. So
Yeah.
Three of
Wow.
Wands, but some action's been taken to help change this for the future. So that's what's coming up.
Yes. So
Yeah.
the Mars world, which is right next to us, is a zoo of captured inhabitants from many worlds, including our own, where they are studied, trained, and experimented on. You know, that matches what the secret space program and all those stories, that matches that.
Yeah,
It
it
is
does. And that
ruled by the
absolutely, yeah.
Anunnakis. It is ruled by the Anunnakis, who conquered the Martians long ago. Admiral Byrd was a member of the Mars world, which is why he could easily travel there through the land bridge that connects us. According to Nocelli's book, the Anunnaki are the builders of the pyramids. There are 5 meters tall reptiloid and fearful looking. They are aggressive and warlike with little compassion and are advanced technologically. Like the custodians, they were invaded and changed physically and psychologically by entities outside the Great Dome to be what they are today. Their lands have sparse vegetation and their waters are infested with giant serpents. They have learned to use portals to enter or invade domed worlds.
Interesting. It's interesting because I always had this feeling that the Anunnaki, not all of them were bad, like they were very much portrayed as someone like that. But I always had the feeling that not all of them were. So again, there was that war within the war. So yeah, so that's a really interesting concept. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Now we can
Mm.
ask about all of this. Humans have an alliance with Venus against the custodians and Anunnaki. They prefer spiritual development rather than war, but can hold their own in battle if need be. They evade and even defeat their enemies by moving to underground bunkers and activating their defenses from there. They're quite advanced technologically to the point of controlling the surface climate and weather, which they once used to defeat the custodians. The Pleiadians are also our friends, kind of. They're very tall and spiritually developed and like to remain neutral in a war. They survived the Battle of Asgard against the custodians and have frequent clashes with the Anunnaki. So,
And my understanding with the Pleiadians is that they are a very high vibration, but um, with the law of karma, basically universal karma, they did interfere with ours. They tried to help us. They did interfere with us as humans, and therefore they then had to take responsibility. So the Pleiadians are the ones that we often can do our ascension through. So, which is really interesting.
yeah, and in this they show like the lands of
Yep. Yeah, Pleiades.
Pleiades and then the lands of Venus right next to us, close to us. And so they show on there, it's interesting, the Alcyone, the ones that Atlas, Merope, Electra. So it's almost like um, they took these maps and then made stars out of them.
Exactly. And, and that also is a trigger. This is why sometimes I feel we're so drawn to the stars, because of the intention and energy that's been put into them. And they do say that we have stardust within us as well. So maybe that's sort of what helps us to trigger, to remember who we truly are, and where we've come from and why we're here.
Yeah.
It's just fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. So um so are the custodians real? Like, well,
Have a
in
look.
here, I know he says the custodians are, hold on. The Orion world is dominated by the Greys, who are physically small and slim and scientifically inclined. They were once human, but gave up emotion for mental superiority and are dying as a result. Their abductions are so that they can take from us what they lost. They are related to the Zeta Reticuli and are used by the custodians to try and breach the celestial worlds. They were almost destroyed by Tartary and the giants, who, along with humans, share a mutual hatred. Only about 2% of Greys are sympathetic to humans. The Dracos or Itamines are both psychic and technologically and live to about 200 years. Their two continents are covered with beautiful vegetation and they rule over the lands of Osiris, Isis. Their enemies are the Anunnakis and Greys.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Who were they? Were they the custodians? I thought the custodians were the ones that were the fighters. No?
No, no, they're talking about the Greys. But here
Oh.
they talk about the custodians. The custodians are technological beings who exploit other worlds. They were themselves exploited by beings outside the Great Dome. They
Mm.
are obsessed with trying to penetrate the celestial lands where the gods live and where humanity originated from. The custodians despise humans, but are partial to those who are willing to sell their souls for fame or power. The last great war humans giants had with the custodians occurred some 250 years ago, last great reset. And remember, we talked about being reset? Okay, so the custodians are carnivores who feed off our fear and suffering. They create the great artificial walls of ice around worlds and the political and financial systems, all which enslave the inhabitants. The custodians are all, in all likelihood, what we call the Luciferians slash Satanists.
Mm.
So are they really? So I guess we were confusing the reptilians with the custodians Because
Yes, it sounds like
we thought
it
it
does
was the
sound.
reptilians doing it, right?
Yeah, but I mean, but there's so much confusion, and I mean, look at all of the different statues and things that have been around the world from completely different countries that would never have probably seen each other, you know, from different times, and they're the same beings that are shown. It's really interesting because this card came up. So the Ten of Swords to me is when something's been finished. It's actually ended. The story almost has ended. Um, and that brings a lot more peace. So I feel that it's almost like their story's finished, and it's really interesting because I'm just getting now, and I don't often remember this, but there was a card that came up, the Three of Pentacles, once, and it was a contract card, and it had to do with the deep state, and it's like their contract time had finished. So this, to me, this is what this is actually triggering from what I've had before. So it's bringing about a much better emotional aspect here in this earth, and it's happening really quickly because of the actions that are being taken by people, by us. It's actually happening more quickly, I think, than we even know.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So it says the custodian world is the center of evil under our great dome. So they show these lands. So are the lands, I don't know if these lands are underneath our lands. Because it says under our great dome. So I don't know if it's, yeah, the great dome is the bigger dome, right?
The Great Dome, yeah, is apparently the one that goes over everything.
Everything.
So the Magician cards come up. So there could be some miscommunication with, you know, this. I think that there's going to be some illusion as well,
Okay.
that yeah, we're not going to actually know everything. I just don't feel that it would be allowed out there. Again, it's being worked on.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's being worked on because that Eight of Pentacles is there. So there's a lot being done, but there's still more to be worked on. There's still a lot of illusion. But also, too, what I was getting is, remember, there can be other, what's the word, energetic realms as
Yeah.
well. And what people might
I'll be right back.
perceive, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, what people may perceive of, or we've been told about, indoctrinated with hell, maybe it's simply a lower vibrational world, or layer. That's, you know, so that's another possibility. It doesn't have to be actually fully physical.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So
So, yeah.
are the custodians real? Is this really real?
Well, the Hermit cards come up. So I feel that it's like they've gone quiet, because the Hermit is about going inside, but it's reflecting. So, you know, I feel they could have been it, but I don't feel that they're as active now, is probably the word I'm getting when that Hermit card comes up. It's like it's quietened down, and there's more light being shone through. So there's a high possibility they were real, but they're just not as active. Yeah, look at this. The Fool cards come up. So there's new beginnings happening. So it's almost like they're irrelevant. And that's what I feel that Ten of Swords was trying to tell us as well, that it's not how it's changed from what you're describing now. It's like it's changed to something else.
Okay. Yeah, well, this was a while back when
Oh, was
this.
that a long time ago? Yeah, I'm getting, well, that makes sense. I haven't looked at the site apart from those maps when you told me it. So I don't know anything that's written in there. So that's just what's coming through. It's like, this is, yeah, old news is probably a good way to put it. So,
Yeah. Uh, okay, so it says, so there's, listen to this. The land of clones or second earth was created for totally experimental purposes. The Anunnaki were the first to make use of this world, bringing in different races or species for conflict resolution. It is also used to save the lives of important leaders or celebrities. It has huge laboratories and may have been a center for hybrid creation and experimentation, both ancient and modern. So there is a second Earth, and it's called America number two, Europa number two, um,
Wow.
the big
And
land of deserters, oh, land of experiments, and land of organs.
do you know, it's so interesting you say that because whenever I watch a movie, it's like a part of me knows when they're trying to tell us the truth. And I've had this since I was a child. It's this absolute knowing that there's some real truth in it. And some of the ones that have really caught my knowing. Have you heard of The Island? It's literally about that. And then there was another one, and it was called Not Without You, and it was about these children that were, made for exactly that reason, and it was accepted. Look, these movies, they tell us what they're doing. And I know, and there was another one that was about another timeline dimension. I saw that when I was really young, and I just knew, I went, this is real, this is true. So whenever a movie captures me like that, and I either have to buy the DVD or I have to have it so I can just watch it over and over, I know it's truth. So I would actually agree with that just from my experiences with what they've told us.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like seeing this, it's almost like cleared a lot of information that in my head I couldn't kind of put together.
Yeah,
So now it's all making like a lot of sense.
yeah.
Um, really, truly, uh, it's just so interesting, so interesting. Um,
And I also noticed that Nick's put down there that, that homesick feeling. I think I've had that most of my life. It's like, I just want to go home. And it's almost like we've had so much experience here on this earth plane that we want to go home. We want to go to where we know, what's going on, whether it's outside through these amazing different places that they might call worlds, planets, whatever. Yeah, it's almost like we remember at some deep level. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, According to Claudio and his source, there are 178 worlds or circle environments under our great dome or universe, not counting the independent worlds without domes. Portals connect the various domed worlds. These portals are currently being fought over in key countries across our known world. And then he says, below is Nas Confundant's map of the main worlds under our great dome. Basically, the idea is that the stars and planets we see in the sky have their terrestrial counterparts here on this great plane of creation. However, this particular view of our great plane appears somewhat random or disorderly when compared to other models such as the Hindu or vibes of cosmos, so I would approach it with caution. The website, on the whole, does offer some information not found elsewhere, or at least different perspective of our level Earth plane. And if you go to the big one, to the big one at the end, with that has
Mhm.
all of the domes, it's just it just blows your mind. So the lands of Vega, Sirius, Sirius A, Sirius B, Persei, Mercury, toxic lands. Um, yeah, this is just great. Uranus, everything we know about these planets, they're not planets. They're domed
They're
areas.
worlds. Mm, interesting, isn't it? And look, like you said, that is one perspective, maybe they don't all have a dome. Maybe it's more interconnected than that now because I just feel like something's changed as well, um, from what the cards were saying.
Yeah,
So, I feel that, and what I love is that when we start to question what happens, like I said, we start to get answers, and sometimes it's a stepping process. We don't get the answer straight away. We have to sort of step our way to it. So yeah, it's sometimes it can be too much, and we've got to understand the layers or remember the layers as we go through. It's like those little aha moments, like, oh gosh, that feels right. So yeah, it's part of our experience of being here and choosing to forget.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, okay, we have a question here. I've been so entranced with this. Okay.
Hmm.
77 X Wild. Are all these lands on top of a big toroidal field?
It's a really good question, and it's interesting because yeah, 77 Wild, I also feel that, like, I can feel and sense and tune into vortexes that are within our 3D land here. And I feel that there's this massive energetic aspect as well that is so big and such different vibration that it's really difficult to even tune into. So let's just check with the cards. So, and sometimes I remember once I managed to just let myself to go to such a deep level when I was just meditating, and I actually felt the presence of this being that loved Earth so much and was holding such an enormous space for us and for Earth. It was just like almost overwhelming. It was so big. So yeah, so the toroidal field, let's have a look and see if this toroidal field is an aspect of of this whole setup. Okay. Yeah, the Knight of Pentacles has come up. So to me, it's like, yes, there is truth in this message because this is a reality that this messenger is coming in with. Yeah. So, and yeah, it's a strategy. It's the whole setup. So Seven of Swords is when there's been a strategy in place. There are changes that are ongoing, but there's always a balance with those two swords that are left behind. It's a plan. So I would say that yeah, this was a strategy in creating, huh? Yeah, Nine of Cups, because it helped to create whatever it was that was desired to make this play, to make this whole these worlds. So yeah, I would say that that's a big aspect of it as well. Look at this, Two of Cups. So definitely helps to bring everything together. Having a huge energetic toroidal field makes sense, doesn't it? Because then as well, when we look at actual, going through portals or whatever, there has to be some sort of energetic aspect to it. So that actually, the cards are saying that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe they're not just on top of it. I'm just seeing, it could be also that it's all part of it. We're actually part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. Wow. Well, so this kind of connects sort of with what we're going to talk about. Hopefully, well, it might not be next because I'm going to try to reread this book, Tyler's book.
Yes.
Um, oh my God, I read it like in 3 days. Like it was crazy. Uh, it, it gets better and better with as you get to the other chapters, and it is mind blowing. He literally could make a movie out of this book. So I'm gonna reread it because it was that good, but mostly because I want to. There's some questions that I had in there of things that happened that
Yep.
would be really cool to have a whole show
Mm.
um, about what happened, because he only remembers up to a point. So
Yep.
it's like it'd be really cool to see like how we can expand it, if at all, on some of the things that happen. So again, guys, if you don't have this book, get it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it does look really good actually. So, and remember though, it came up that he was only allowed to remember a certain amount, because otherwise he might go down that rabbit hole too much, and he had a job to do here. So that was really interesting that actually came up for him. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 But before we go, can I really quickly, because Kathy B sent through her skulls from the last show that we did, the skull show, and I didn't come back here, Christine. I didn't get the actual information before it was too late to put it up. So where is it? Oh no, I've lost it. Oh, that's crazy. Oh well, it's just gone. Sorry.
Oh,
How
wow.
bizarre. Oh, so yeah, but I was going to show her beautiful crystal skull. It had a big grin on it, and you could feel the energy from it. It was like this very like cheeky, happy sort of skull, and then there was 4 other beautiful different types of skulls. So it'd be interesting to see if anyone's been tapping in to that beautiful crystal skull meditation that we did. I have been, and the light is definitely still sparking everywhere, and I actually felt so much peace within my own head when I tuned into my crystal skull. So there you
Oh,
go.
beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so guys, if you haven't seen our last show, because not a lot of people watched it, um, if you have a crystal skull, definitely watch it and definitely take the time to connect your skull to it to create a bigger grid. And please, again, forward to anybody you know that has a crystal skull, because we want to make this as big as possible.
Yeah.
So,
And even if you don't have a crystal skull, but you've been intrigued, the meditation that we do on there will actually help you to tap into an etheric crystal skull. You don't have to go out and buy a crystal
that's
skull.
right. That's right.
So, yeah, so anyone can do this.
Yes, absolutely. So it's time for us to start. Um, Again, please forward to whoever you know so that we can start creating a bigger grid and make it really strong. And I just think it's just going to be amazing. And you can always go buy one too, if now you feel like the pull or the need. Yeah, it can be any size, Kathy. It definitely can be any size. Just go and see what calls you. If you have a skull out there for you, you'll find it. You'll know.
You will. And it's not the size that matters. Like
Yeah.
what Jasper's saying, he said that's your theory. So, but I've got some beautiful little ones that are really powerful as well. They still can hold the whole, the memories and everything within them. So, and if you want to, you can tune into Jasper. He loves people tuning into Jasper. So if you feel really comfortable and safe and you want to practice, then just tune into Jasper. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Again, I highly suggest you get Tyler's book and read it. It really kind of, it opens your eyes to, so the bleed through, the word bleed through, is actually his current parallel realities, past realities, whatever, are bleeding through into this reality, and it's crazy, like the stuff that happens. Like he'll go to places like these like stations, like Space Force stations, or um uh the military bases basically, and he totally knows what's where. I've been here before. This building is this is, this is here, this is there. Like crazy, just crazy. So it's really interesting, really interesting book, and it almost gives you another perspective of like, oh, that's how this works. That's how this, like, this connects with this. And I don't know, I just feel like it connected some dots for me that I probably couldn't have without his description of what happened to him. And he even goes through a near death experience where he almost dies. It was crazy. It was crazy. Just
Wow. So
crazy.
what's it called? Bleed through the lines or something? Is that what it's called?
Bleed through. Tales from
Just
Another Timeline.
okay.
Tyler
Okay.
Kiwala. Kiwala. Kiwala.
Beautiful. Thank you. I will get
Yeah,
that.
just really good.
Yep.
So if I probably again, I don't think I'll have it. I'll give you guys some time to read it. How about that? So I'll give you 2 weeks, and I feel like that should be enough time to read it, and then we can do the show with Tyler. So, all right.
Perfect.
If you guys want us to cover anything else that you feel is interesting, let us know. Definitely let us know on the comment section. And if you like the video, always it's great. I would be very grateful if you like the video and if you share the video. We just would love to grow our tribe, and we love you so much. We're so grateful for you. And
Yes.
that's it for now.
Okay. We'll see you, everybody. Thanks, Elisa.
Thank you, everybody. Love you.